All right, guys, so Howard Stern about a year ago, maybe a year or two ago, said, I might run for president. Well, now he's bringing it up again, and he sounds even more serious. So this is in the Hill. Howard Stern on Roe v. Wade's overturning. I'm actually going to probably have to run for president now. Howard Stern is ripping the Supreme Court's decision striking down Roe v. Wade, saying the ruling might spur him to launch a White House bid. I'm actually going to have to probably run for president now, the SiriusXM host told Howard Stern Show listeners on Monday. The show marked Stern's first public comments about Friday's Supreme Court decision, which overturned the 1973 landmark ruling that had provided a constitutional right to abortion. Stern, who's long railed against the United States Electoral College system, said of conservative Supreme Court justices Amy Coney Barrett, Brett Kavanaugh, and Neil Gorsuch, these appointed judges by former President Trump were appointed by a president who lost the popular vote by 3 million votes. This is where we get in trouble. If he were to run for office, the 68-year-old radio pro said, I'm going to do the very simple thing that'll set the country straight. One vote, one person, no more electoral college. I'm getting rid of it. The problem with most presidents is that they have too big of an agenda. The only agenda I would have is to make the country fair again, Stern said. Stern slammed Justice Clarence Thomas, who joined the 6-3 majority decision, describing him as sitting there like Darth Vader, dormant and waiting for other kooks to join the Supreme Court. I'll give you a couple of examples of why this is so horrible, Stern said, as he mentioned, every day, women who go to the doctor and they find out that the baby has horrible birth defects. A lot of times women are raped. A lot of times contraception doesn't work. And then there's even a more confusing state where a man and a woman want to have a baby and all of a sudden things go medically wrong, Stern later told a listener. We were past all of this, and we still are. We as a country voted for Hillary Clinton by 3 million votes. Stern, who supported the 2016 Democratic presidential nominee over Trump, exclaimed, we voted for Biden because it was repugnant. All this horseshit, Stern continued, but now for life, we're stuck. The other thing is, if I do run for president and I'm not effing around, I'm really thinking about it, because the only other thing I'm going to do is appoint 5 more Supreme Court justices, Stern said. After co-host Robin Quivers questioned whether Stern could make such a change, he replied with a slight chuckle, I don't know what I'm doing exactly. I'm not afraid to do it. As soon as I become president, you're going to get 5 new Supreme Court justices that are going to overturn all this bullshit. Stern has floated a potential presidential run before. Last year, the Howard Stern Comes Again author said if he were to run against Trump in 2024, he would beat his ass. Trump has not confirmed a 2024 bid. He's almost certainly going to run. Stern ran as a libertarian in New York's gubernatorial race in 1994 before dropping out after the state Supreme Court upheld a requirement that he would have to disclose his personal finances as a political candidate. All right, so he's flirted with this a number of times. Donald Trump had also previously flirted with running a number of times. Is he serious? I have no idea if he's serious. Now, previously I would have said, and I did say, I think I commented on this before, look, you never know what the fuck can happen in today's political environment because, 90% of people making predictions just get them wildly wrong. And so it's almost a fool's errand to one extent or another to make predictions. Now, having said that, I've done a half-decent job with my predictions. So I thought maybe he runs and maybe he's got a shot. Who the fuck knows? But at the same time, because Americans love celebrity. I mean, as much as we might pretend we don't or bash them on the one hand, on the other hand, people love celebrities. Howard Stern very clearly would run, sounds like, in the Democratic primary. And Howard, here's what I know about Democratic voters in today's day and age, and here's what I know about the internet in today's day and age. They would dig up every little thing that's ever happened on his show, which was offensive, which was politically incorrect, which was fucked up, which crossed the line, and they would talk about that nonstop until the cows come home. That's what they would do. And it wouldn't matter, even if he had the perfect agenda, even if he had a number of policy proposals that all polled at 90% among the public, and even if he focused like a laser on those things, I think the media would just kind of ignore it and go right back to, well, look at this Howard Stern segment in 2002 where he shoved a ping pong ball up a stripper's asshole or something like that. Like, that's what would happen. That's what would happen. And so I do think he'd sort of be blocked out as a result of it. Now, Trump showed that in order to defeat scandals, you just have to, like, sort of puff your chest out and say, fuck you, and then just keep moving forward. But I think that works specifically on the Republican side, or more so on the Republican side. Whereas on the Democratic side, and I wish it wasn't the case that people cared about purity of character. Like, people tend to prioritize purity of character over purity of policy. I'm the exact opposite. I prioritize purity of policy over purity of character. But certainly in a Democratic primary, they make the whole purity of character thing like front and center. And there's no way Howard Stern passes that test. So even if he means well, I think he would kind of run into a brick wall the more I've thought about this. But ultimately, he's probably just talking shit on his radio show. I don't even know how big his radio show still is at this late date, so could just be trying to get some headlines. If that was what he was doing, well, it worked. Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.